Portugal. There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know.
Oh, there you are. Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, the live stream, the podcast, and of course the Portugal Club, where we'll go in just a moment to take a look at Portugal citizenship question 33. Portugal citizenship test question number 33. Not the easiest thing to say. I just had a coughing fit before joining you here this morning. Good morning to you, Jackie. How are you? Jackie, Mike, and Veronica in. Veronica joining us at around 8:20. T-Duck also. Good morning to you all. I'm going to have a few more sips on this tea, but I haven't got a video to play. So I'll struggle on manfully. Hope you're well on this quinta-feira. A quick PSA, public service announcement, not a medical test. And that'll be expats wanted, 5 singles or couples. There was a late cancellation on this, something that we do over on the Expats Portugal webinar on occasion, probably every quarter or so. We did have a lineup of 5 households, basically. Unfortunately, one of our parties has dropped out. So there is a space if you'd like to come and talk about your experience. Have you been living in Portugal for over... I can't see that. Let me just blow that up for a moment where it goes red there. 12 months, a year. And would like to share your pros and cons of life in Portugal with other wannabe expats. We want and need you. Be one of our next week's... Actually, that's for tonight then. Be one of our guests tonight. And our host, Carl. Who's that then? Oh, yes, I know him. Will lead the way. So get in touch with Astrid at expatsportugal.com if you'd like to take part in that. It'd be my pleasure to talk to you about your experience this evening. Incoming, good morning to you, Michael Whitby. How are you doing this morning? Who says, look out the window. Now, I was sent some lovely pictures, wasn't I, yesterday on 913-590-303 of the autumnal mornings here in Portugal. And one came in from Mel, which I have subsequently misplaced. So I'll find that of a very nice feature in the sky. And I'm not sure why I've got Michael Whitby telling me to look out of the window at the moment. An ACP link as well. Do love ACP. I was late to the party joining the Automobile Club de Portugal, but what an amazing service they offer, especially if you're looking for, I'll use the dreaded word, renewal, but this time for your driving license. Why don't they? I'll tell you what might make things in Portugal a little easier is if they lengthen the terms of things. So, instead of your first 2 years of your D7, why not make it 4 or 20 years? And then they'll save themselves a load of work, basically. Look out your window. Oh, classic cars coming past. And thank you, Joao F., who sent me the most beautiful collection of vintage photographs. And I have to say, vintage gentlemen as well. Thank you for this, Michael. Much appreciated. It is now to aid my my quick comprehension here. I'm trying to translate to English. Got it now. The Figueira de Foz. They're calling it a raid, October the 18th. So look out of your window on Saturday. Pre-war classics, recalling the first automobile race on the Iberian Peninsula, connecting Figueira de Foz to Lisbon. The ACP Clásicos will hold the Figueira de Foz Lisbon raid, they're calling it, on October the 18th and 19th to celebrate the 123rd anniversary of the event, which was first held in 1902, when fabulous motor vehicles, nothing electric then, perhaps apart from the battery. Although they wouldn't have had, would they have had batteries even? They would for the lights, not for the starting. Didn't have a crank handle in those days. The raid is intended for vehicles manufactured up to 1939. So if you have a pre-1939 vehicle, actually, I must share this again tomorrow with some of the fabulous images that come with it. But they're leaving on October the 18th on Saturday at the Figueira de Foz meeting point near the fort and arriving at the Pimenta Palace in Lisbon, hopefully, for 4 o'clock the day after on October 19th, the Sunday. Registration costs nothing if you have a vehicle up to 1939. If your vehicle is a modern one between 1940 and 1960, that'll cost you €225. And if you want a double room, Oh, that's beautiful. It goes through Obidos as well. So if you want a stay in Obidos overnight, that's 160 for your room as well. Go to the ACP website for that. I think what I'll do is I'll pop that up into the Portugal Club there. Still trying to find Mel's picture of her morning. Let's just say a few good mornings. I'm glitching your end. I beg your pardon. Mel, let me just find your message that you sent me because I do like, yeah, interesting sky shape. It's a cloud feather, everybody. I wonder what this is. And there will be a meteorologist, no doubt, among us who can explain this phenomenon. And other pictures welcome if you want to send them in on 913-590-303 on the WhatsApp. Yeah, that's a lovely picture. Thank you very much for that. I'll come back to that after we've said a few hellos then. I'm sorry if I'm glitching your end. Your end. Veronica joining me at 20 past, of course. Carl Hyde joining at 9. Sorry, at 8. 20 past 8. And then Carl will be joining us at 40 minutes past 8. 20 minutes to 9. Bon dia alegria gumpers from T-Duck, and Mike is here. Bon dia, everyone. It's Thursday, right? The day the Vogons destroyed Earth in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That sounds serious. This must be Thursday. I could never get the hang of Thursdays. Is that what it says in Hitchhiker's Guide? Sure. Why sure? I wonder. Forgive me. Yes, in WhatsApp. Thanks, Mel. Thursday is my favourite day to plan how I'm going to waste Friday. Excellent. Thursday is a pretending day. Thursday is for pretending you're productive while Googling the weekend memes. Excellent. You're freezing. But the banner keeps scrolling. That's weird. Very weird indeed. Do you know what? I'll shut a few. I'll shut a few tabs. See if that might be the problem there. And in a moment, we'll go to our Portuguese citizenship test question number 33, folks. And we'll answer the. It was an easy one yesterday, but it's the supplementaries that I thought were more interesting. Yesterday morning. Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Yeah, this is the picture from Mel. What is that then in the sky there? If it allows me to bring it onto the screen. Yes, what is that feathery thing in the sky there? Bizarre, isn't it? And the sun seems to be catching it. Looks like there's a little bit of something or other coming out of a few aeroplanes. Not going to say what. People have their own ideas and theories about that. And is that something to do with that beautiful cloud, feathery cloud floating by there? I wonder what that is. But I can see it's catching the sun in a very beautiful way at the end there. Right. Okay. Let's go to a little story to tell you. The continuation of the catspiracy theory here. Oh my goodness, what a weekend it was. It's a chemtrail. You only have to mention it, don't you? And it's just one of those things, isn't it? There's a handful of them, probably more, a dozen things maybe. You know what they are. Just have to mention them and people feel instantly divided. Andero, for your information, no biometric data taking for flights from UK to Porto Airport yesterday. Yes, very interesting. The first thing I heard about the airports yesterday, I think, was, oh dear, we're back to the 90-minute waits, thanks to the new system. And then, I think rather hastily, the government, in association with the Schengen border forces, said, okay, just go back to the old system. It's not, the new system's not working. Brussels, that's not done yet though. Brussels suggests reverting back to old border system in Portugal. Excellent Temo adverts this morning as well. The European Commission has suggested using the old border control system with passport checks and stamps. Oh dear. Welcome to 2025. The show was for the interview opening. I'm still not with you, Mike, but it's fine. I think everything's fine there. Nothing urgent. Let me bring this onto the screen then. This is hilarious, isn't it? 2025, the time of AI, the paperless society, everybody. I'm still freezing. It is a little bit chilly in the garage here, and the lip sync is off. Try refreshing your browser. That may be sorted now, or I'll just this smaller image. It won't be so obvious that the lip sync is out. But yeah, where were we? We were in 2025. Hopefully, we'll be able to tell you the story of the cat up the tree and the confession time, the moral maze that me and Mrs. M successfully navigated. I have to say, with the president of the town, my neighbour. Come back to that if we've got time, and of course the citizenship test question, a little more difficult this morning. I don't know. Can you? Is it me? Is it me? You when you ask that question, is it me? It usually is, but it might not be on this occasion. Of high technology, 2025, the age of high technology, fast fibre, and Brussels suggesting reverting back to the old border system in Portugal. And Dara, thank you as well for your beautiful cycling club pictures. They will get featured at some point too, as well. I always get around to it in the end, don't I? And I think there are things you sent me back in 1911 that I've yet to share on the screen, but I will do. The European Commission has suggested using the old border control system with passport checks and stamps following reports of problems. Reports of problems. Can you imagine? There is an old telephone in Brussels where calls come in of complaining member states. We've got a little bit of a problem at the airport. The new system you asked us to put in, where some of the lanes are green and some of them are red, and people go through there, and it's going to be fast and it's going to be effective and it's going to be secure. Well, it hasn't been implemented quite as planned. It's a bit late, it's a bit over budget, and it's not actually working. So they're going to go back to the old system maybe here. I'm not aware of anything that has happened in Portugal, but the new system in brackets includes a possibility of reverting to the old system whenever something occurs that could jeopardize the new system. Said Marcus Lammert, the European Commission's spokesperson for Home Affairs, who was probably working from home yesterday. I don't think that's what Home Affairs means. I mean, everybody is a Home Affairs person out there who works from home. But this person got the call to say, look, it's chaos. This thing you asked us to implement in Portugal is not working. What should we do? It's your responsibility, Marcus. Marcus quickly checks if it is his responsibility before doing anything, I suspect, and then says, well, just use the old system. That's what the old system's for, is to back up the new system. Questioned by Lusa at the institution's daily press conference, following reports of queues exceeding 90 minutes at Lisbon's airport on Tuesday. And I'm not laughing at that because that's horrible if you're one of those people who was held up for an hour and a half just trying to enter or exit the country. I think this is for entering, isn't it? It would be for entering. The official stated that the system is designed precisely, not two words you would expect to see together in this sort of case. It is designed precisely for cases in which possible indications that the system could be used may arise. I mean, what a load of old cobblers. It hasn't worked. We're going to have to use the old crap system that we thought was crap. That's why we got the new system. That's not what he said, but I'm reading between the lines here. All 29 countries in the Schengen, free movement in brackets, who doesn't like a free movement first thing in the morning, have successfully launched their entry and exit systems. Apparently, all 29 countries have launched their systems, and such a large system is a complex and complicated task. Don't worry, folks. These are the sort of people who will be in charge of your digital ID. Nothing to worry about. That's why we have an integrated transition period. Which may last several decades. No. A 6-month phase-in period, which allows for a gradual introduction of the new system, said Marcus Lammert. And of course, like the IMA website, we test these things, not behind the scenes. We don't do prototypes and testing offline. No, we use it in real life, of course. We test it on real people to watch it crash and burn. The new electronic border system is expected to be fully operational by April 2026. Doing a quick bit of maths there. Well done, Marcus. 90-minute delays. The statement comes after the PSP, the Public Security Police, and an excellent advert for Stana lifts here. Look, you get to a certain age and the whole advertising landscape changes. Described a critical day at Lisbon Airport. Again, a very well-chosen euphemism. An annoying, frustrating, and terrible day for people who had to wait for 90 minutes, basically. Critical day, my butt. Let's call it what it is, shall we? With non-EU passengers waiting more than 90 minutes at departures and arrivals. So both due to the new electronic control system. The only thing it's controlling is people's movement and sadly, I doubt that many of them, or some of them, will have been able to control their tempers, and quite understandably too. Also on Tuesday, the European Commission described the entry into force of the new electronic entry and exit system. I didn't expect to be talking about this morning, but anyway, it's such as it is with the situation that I think it's worth talking about, and it is part of the identification of modern life, isn't it? These how many of systems designed to improve things actually make things worse, and how long will it be until we realise that and stop entering this vicious cycle of nonsense with so many so-called improvements? So entry and exit systems for the European Union as a success. What? So it's described as a success the day before, despite problems in Portugal, citing more than 100,000 registrations in 2 days. On Sunday, we successfully launched the entry-exit system in all 29 Schengen area member states, who are now registering third country nationals. And in just 2 days, more than 100,000 people have been registered across the European Union, said Magnus Brunner, Marcus's colleague, the European Commissioner for Home Affairs and Migration. Wouldn't want his job at the moment. Speaking, but I dare say he's very well paid. Speaking on the sidelines of the Home Affairs Ministers' meeting in Luxembourg, Magnus Brunner called it a milestone in the new millstone, more like, in the new approach to border management. It allows us to know who enters and leaves the EU, when and where. This is an important milestone in strengthening our internal security and testing the patience and the capability of mindfulness among our inhabitants. He didn't say that last bit, and I'm not going to read anymore, but you get the gist of that. Who was that in that picture there? And there's a comment was on there on the Portugal News, but has since subsequently been removed. Right, very quickly then, and this can be Veronica's entry into the situation. Not ready yet, Veronica. Your banner, where am I? Your banner scrolls even when you're frozen. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Well, do you know what? I'll consult the EU tech department who implemented the system here. Maybe that's why it's not working terribly well. Right, okay. Citizenship test question number 33, everybody. Let me bring this onto the screen for you. We go to the Portugal Club for this, of course, where you'll find these questions posted every day. Today's question is, what is the name of the traditional bullfighting style in Portugal where the bull is not killed, mercifully, thankfully? Is it A, the tourada? Now, that reminds me of how you can order toast in Portugal and end up with fish or vice versa. But now there's another word that you can add to that. You might end up in a bullfight if you ask for a durada, torrada, and now tourada. Is it tourada, though? Or is it corrida, the touros, or is it cavaleiro, the name of the traditional bullfighting style in Portugal where the bull is not killed? And when I've researched this, it says the bull is not killed inside the ring, suggesting that it may be killed outside the ring. I hope not. And I have heard of stories of legendary bulls that came to fight as a sort of kind of regular fixture. They come and do their thing, and then they're taken back to their pasture or whatever, or the stud farm, and then they have another scrap a little bit later. I hope that's how it is. Right, bom dia, alegria a todos e feliz quinta-feira da minha quinta. Very good, Matty. Excellent use of the Portuguese there. Great to see you. And that was the Portuguese citizenship test question number 33. Let me just put the link to that if you want to have a go at that. And, oh, yes, I might have time to quickly squeeze in my situation, the hot water I found myself in on Sunday, which was, of course, the presidential election. Excuse me. Presidential election in locally, not across the country. The presidential election for the president of Portugal will be happening earlier in the new year, January. Oh, and the river that runs through Porto, of course, is the Douro. Where did that question go? A lot busy yesterday over there on the Portugal Club. Yes, very busy. Thank you to everybody who popped over yesterday. 6 votes. Well done to Virginia, Debbie, Carl Munson, Antonio, and who was that? Bob as well, who selected the Douro. The Tagus, of course, Ortejo runs through Lisbon, the other options there, and the Mondego. Where does the Mondego run through? I'll leave that hanging there for you. And just very quickly then, yes, Catspiracy, the continuing Catspiracy theory, and how the cats of Casa Munson are making my life a misery. I'm the only person who is doubtful about the allegiances and loyalty and usefulness of cats as pets. When would it have been? Saturday night, Sunday morning. Mrs. M, the little one hasn't come home. The others are present and correct. 2 dogs, 3 cats, but the little girl, she has not come home. And Mrs. M starts to worry, of course, thinking the worst. I'm thinking to myself, That cat will turn up as soon as it's hungry. Don't you worry. As soon as it feels like it needs to trip me up or be fed, it will be yowling at the door. And eventually, Mrs. M. Oh no, I heard. She's very concerned. Why do something? Try and find the cat. Oh, that's fine. I'm gonna have my cup of tea and my toast, and it will turn up. I'm sure. And then I heard it, and I said, Mrs. M is yowling somewhere in the neighbourhood, and it was up a tree. It was up my neighbour's palm tree next door in his garden. So she get the ladder, do something. Oh, look, still haven't finished my tea or my toast, so I shall wait, and the cat will probably come down of its own accord. Cats often sort things out for themselves if humans don't start fussing, although I do think they like the attention when the humans do start fussing. So eventually, after much irritation from Mrs. M, I'm not going to get a peaceful moment there. It's not going to have a quiet life. Oh no, Veronica, really? Okay, let's give her a round of applause. Good morning to you, Veronica. Who is this?
Good morning. This is my new adoption. It's so funny. Every time you talk about something, it's like I'm already there.
Yes.
It would appear
so. You've adopted a cat.
Make your debut. Say hello.
You haven't, have you?
Say hello.
Is it a fostering or is it an adoption? Full-time adoption? Is it?
Yep.
You've taken on this little beauty here?
Yep.
And what's her name?
And her name is, she's feisty.
Her name is Woo.
She's a feral cat that someone adopted, and a niece had an allergy. So this little lovely is named Mon Chic because of the mountain of Mon Chic here. Oh, you are freezing.
Chic. What's a lovely name. Very good. Am I? Not to me, I'm not. That's bizarre. All right, I'm going to turn everything off and sit very still, and then you won't know if I'm freezing or not. That's a creative solution right there, isn't it? Okay.
Turning up my sound.
So, little Mon Chic, welcome to our world, Mon Chic. Do you know what? I wish I'd pretended I'd got an allergy when all the suggestion of all these cats came into my house. Anyway, how are you? Tudo bem? Como está?
Perfect. And you? Tudo bem? É tu?
Very good. Muito bem, obrigado. Muito bem. Cinco estrelas.
Oh, you froze.
I was just recounting the story of how the cat was. Oh, really? How annoying is that? I wonder if I should refresh my browser. I'm going to do it. I'm refreshing my browser. Okay.
Refresh. When in doubt, reboot. That is the first thing we learn, right? Whenever you had to call IT for work, for anyone who's still working or remembers working.
Right.
When in doubt, reboot.
Thank you, Veronica. I suspect you were taking care of business there as I refreshed myself. Whether or not that will do anything, I don't know. But let's proceed. And yes, Sunday morning, there I am trying to have a quiet cup of tea first thing in the morning. The little cat, the baby cats, three of them are babies. And there's a little one. She's a cute little thing, actually, I have to say. I discover she is up the neighbour's tree. Oh, you're spoiling that cat already, aren't you? Look at you. And so I say to Mrs. M, it's up the tree. So she comes out and sees the cat up the tree. And because I haven't done anything within about 30 seconds, she gets really mad with me and says, "You should get the ladder. Somebody do something." All this sort of shouting. I said, "Look, I will finish my cup of tea.
Yes.
And then I'll do something about it," because it's a British way of doing things. You have to sort of strategize whilst you're sipping. Yes, there you go. Exactly. Same here right now. And so the tea is drunk, and Mrs. M comes out. Have you got the cat? No, I have not got the cat down yet. And the cat's gone now. You didn't do anything, and it's sure to have been ripped to shreds by the neighbour's cat, or helicoptered out of here by a SWAT team, or kidnapped, or something like that. So she goes back in a huff. I go and look at the cat is in the tree still, right? I can see the cat, and I'm with the children now. The children are looking somewhat chastened. Dad's feeling the heat. They're thinking, how can they help with this? Not very well, actually. They're wondering about barefoot, as kids often do. Turn up barefoot to an emergency. Get back inside and put some shoes on first thing. Right? So the cat is up the tree, and I'm getting a bit irate. Irritated.
Irritated and irate. Irated. You made a new word.
I ratified, I can tell you. And so I hastily grab the stepladder, lean it against the hedge of my neighbour, who happens to be having a very important day. He's up for re-election as the Freguesia president on this day of all days. So I lean the stepladder onto the hedge. I lean across, and I can't reach the cat, who's asleep. Mrs. M's thinking it's traumatized and it's lying there in a coma. I'm thinking this cat is just having a good time and is happy just to be in the tree out of harm's way, minding its own business. I have to get a stick. I have to start poking the cat and bringing it to safety. And in the process, I lean against the tree in the hedge a little too hard, and the limb of the tree snaps. My neighbour's tree in his garden that I am leaning against snaps, and he's the president. Right? So, I mean, my neighbour anyway. I don't want to be breaking my neighbour's tree, but he's also seeking re-election that day. Thinking, oh, mate, it was one of those breaks where you think if I fold it back up and wrap tape around it, it could be like a graft. Anyway, sorry, excuse me. We're able to poke the cat down onto the hedge and get the cat. Cat is safe. I don't feel safe. I feel like I am in a lot of trouble now because I've broken my neighbour's fence, and I'm thinking to myself, all sorts of things are going through my head. Should I vote for him now? Because I've broken his head.
Because you feel guilty, a guilt vote. I voted for you.
Yeah,
no,
pull yourself together, man. You've got to keep the politics separate from this situation. You just need to man up and apologise when the time comes. Don't ring him now because he's actually at the polling station shaking hands with people. I can't ring him up, can I? Or when I go and cast my vote, say, I'm really sorry I broke your tree earlier this morning. Because I'm thinking to myself, if he loses and comes home to a broken tree, it's not going to be a very good day for him. It's like a pride of place in the front of his front garden. So thankfully he won, and I was able to apologise to both him and his wife. And we actually had a hug last night. Veronica, I said, congratulations on your win. Exchanged a little token of my sorrow and congratulations for him on his victory. And he reached out and gave me a hug and gave me a gesture like, oh, tree, Shmee, don't worry about the tree. So after a very long anecdote, all is well. The kitten is fine. The tree is broken, but they're okay about it. And all is well back in this neighborhood. Thank you very much for irated. And we got there in the end, didn't we? And your friends Craig and Joan are here. Bon dia, Veronica.
Hi, Craig and Joan. We love them. They're the newest ones back here with the Visa stamp in their passport. And they're amazing, wonderful people. And they do everything right, and they research, and we're so lucky. In fact, we'll all have coffee after this together, a little group of us, our Thursday meetup, and they're just so delightful. They're just Craig and Joan, well done. Love you.
Thanks, Craig and Joan. So they're the ones who dot the I's and cross the T's, are they, when it comes to all the paperwork?
They're really good. They're fun, they're normal, and they research. In fact, they're the ones that just told me, hey, by the way, did you know the rental rates on homes in the moderate income, which are $2,300? That's the rents now, right? Kind of segueing over into real estate. $2,300 is now considered a moderate rental, whereas before that used to be crazy expensive. And they said, and I looked it up and I have the information. It's going to be voted on this month. 26th, 27th, 28th is when they'll be voting on it. And they're going to drop the tax on that for the people who are renting out a property from 25% to 10%. So now it's going to encourage people for long-term rentals, right? It's going to encourage people to buy homes, to go ahead and rent. And then they're doing a ton of great things. I read through all kinds of data when they mentioned it because I've been out traveling. And there's all kinds of great info. There you go. And that's exactly the article. That's going to be, when you scroll down a bit more, how they're going to be helping the younger buyers. So you can kind of get that first-time home buyer, which once they get into the market, then they push everybody else up. And I think it's such a great program. We did it a lot in California. And in fact, that's who just bought my father's house. The state of California gave them $200,000 for their down payment. Now this, when they sell the house, goes back into the state fund as a percentage, right? So if they gave them their 20% down payment, then maybe it's worth $400,000 in 10 years. That goes back to the state. And it's only for first-time home buyers and actually families. It's the first-time home buyer. So even your parents had not purchased a home. So these programs do work. They do.
The government becomes a part owner in your, but it has an equity stake in your home.
They do. Right. And that was our big fear because we had multiple offers. And that's what I want to talk about a little bit too, is pricing your property to move but for real estate agents not to like price it too low, because we've seen things go too fast being priced too low here. But if you take a strategy of pricing it a little bit low, a little bit under, but give it time, say, you know, for a week or a week and a half, we're just going to review offers and you guys can continue to bid against each other and then let it crank up, right? Then that's kind of a proper way to do it. But yeah, we used that strategy, got multiple offers, and we were a little bit afraid that we would be in bed with the state of California in selling it, and it could make it a tough transaction. If there's any little thing wrong with the house, asbestos or lead pipes, or, you know, all the things that exist from houses from the 50s in California.
I see. Okay. So it would appear to work over there, and you think that copying that over here could be a useful thing as well?
Well, I mentioned it to some people here and they didn't listen to the whole program. And one of the agents I used to use as well, that if you price under, but you have to give it time. Like, you know what I mean? And you don't price it under 50,000 under, you price it maybe 10,000 under. So you find out what the market is, what your great and best, what we say features and benefits are, because there's, of course, price per square meter and the location. Those two things are going to determine the price of your house. And then in addition to that, the features and benefits. Like, just because you have a swimming pool, that's a great feature, but does it benefit that buyer? Are they swimmers? Do they hate the swimmers? Do they hate kids around the pool? Like, what is an actual benefit? And many people think all their features are benefits to all buyers, and that's not necessarily true. So it's fully understanding all the components of the house, taking good photos, and giving it time. If you're going to use a strategy like that, giving it time to play out. So we saw one, I think the agent came from out of town, just didn't even know the pricing for this area, and sold a place for 100,000. Well, he got 3 offers. They were shooting way over 112. Should have gone for 150 minimum, because it was just a 1-bedroom studio. And again, this agent didn't really know pricing, so priced it too low. And not to say agents would ever do things negatively here, but we have seen it happen where they operate in their own self-interest. And when that happens, what's $20,000 or $30,000 to you is a lot of money to you, 20 or 30,000 euros, sorry. But when you take the commission for the agent, what's 5% of 20,000 divided 2 ways? It's a couple $100. They just want to get it sold, done, easiest buyer, and go. So unless you have a super ethical agent, you have to be really careful with these things. And
very good advice. Thank you.
Yeah. And well, people come from other countries where there's a lot more legislation and training, and they think that it's okay like that here, and it's not.
They have different expectations, don't they? And can end up.
You lose your license for that in California if you operated and you couldn't ever sell again. And then you're also liable for lawsuits, both criminally as well as, you know, civilly. So it's just not done very much. Hi, Bob Collins. He's coming to coffee too. Hi,
hey, Bob. It sounds like it's coffee morning in VRSA this morning. Just going back to the moderate pricing, because that's caused a bit of a stir. I thought you were giving me a namaste, but it was a moderaste. Moderate, that's more than a month's salary for people employed in Portugal. Moderate Now, hold on a minute. He's very quick to anger there. I mean, that's true. However, it works out well in this regard, doesn't it? Because they've lifted the upper limit of what they're calling moderate so that they can give a little bit of a benefit on that, right? I think that's the point here. This isn't a rent increase for people. It's not a suggestion of how much rent should be. And of course, that is, you know, it's a ridiculous rent to consider for most working Portuguese people. But I think you need to look at the whole context of the article here to see how this might actually be a good thing, that tax is being lowered on what's being called moderate housing for rental, so that more supply can come into the marketplace. Would that be your reading of the situation, Veronica?
Absolutely. But I also think that they're talking about areas, they're taking Portugal as a whole. And I think hi, top secret. Jim, I'm giving away. Hi, Sarah. How are you? Sarah, giving my link and our friends. Hi, Sarah. She's coming to coffee too. Hi,
how big is this coffee morning of yours? How many people will be there?
It's when I have new people that are coming into town, and and I try to find similar people that would bond, and they can kind of share their experiences. Some people that have just come and arrived, some that are arriving, And I also have, my meetups and groups, but I cull them, once a year. I cull the fat, the people that have made friends and gone on their own way and aren't really contributing. And I try to keep it for the newbies so they can ask all the newbie questions, because you go on some of these Facebook pages and they're all like, scroll up, read the notes, like they're angry with each other.
Read the files, man. It's still saying that. I met someone the other day who said they'd been told to read the files. That still happens, doesn't it?
It's a couple of the Facebook groups that are just they're mean and snarky, man. So I try to keep this just local, and those who really, really like to help the newbies, that don't just say read the files, who contribute and say, hey, there's a fair or an activity or an event, and those newbies. So it's a really good symbiotic.
Bless you for being so careful and diligent with your meetups. For me, it's like, when a meetup is, turn up if you want to, that's it.
Which is good. And there's a lot of people that do that. They just want to be social and they want to have fun, and that's great. Yeah. I find in our smaller town, it's unfortunate because it's created this high school atmosphere where everybody knows each other, and like my friend Stephanie always says, it's the Venn diagram. And you're the person in the middle of everything. So like the teacher. And then, suddenly there's gossip going around town. Whereas the new people need kind of a soft landing pad, but then they need to integrate, meet your neighbors, meet the Portuguese people, join some, classes that are where the Portuguese go to them, whether it's, a walking group or a fitness group. There's a lot of Portugal groups, so we don't just kind of hang out in our own expat communities.
Oh, very good, very, very good indeed. Okay, this is
in an ideal world.
Absolutely, it doesn't always work out like that, as we know. But what a lovely intention to have. So going back to this this item, and thank you for mentioning it. And it was brought to your attention by Craig and Joan here. Other comments coming in. It always happens with thresholds, doesn't it? Well, I'm sure landlords who are at 2K a month will now raise it to 2.3 as it is more affordable for people.
No, 2.3 and under. We need it under.
Better to only incentivize at much lower rentals to increase availability of affordable housing. And landlords, charging a little more than 2,300 can now lower that and make more money. It's going to happen, isn't it, with a threshold like of that kind? Like when people pushed up the sale price of housing to exceed the 500,000 cutoff for visas. Yes, point taken. They won't increase their income by lowering their rent. Well, they will if they get a tax break.
You would. You would.
You would, wouldn't you? If you could, because you get a tax break, which would take it up above the original amount you were earning.
Well, 25% to 10% is significant. So take 1,000 euros, right? So you take 1,000 euros. And 10% is 100, so you're going to pay the government 100 versus 25%, which is 250. So on 2,000, that nets you out 500, right? So that's 500, and let's say you're at the 2,600. You take it down a few hundred, that person gets a break, maybe even go to 2,200. You also get a tax break, and you're coming back with more money, and you're giving it to the person who's renting, which is ideal, instead of to the government, which
it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but I think generally speaking, it should help. But the other forces are at work. Neoliberal economics and geopolitical instability.
But then that's Lisbon. Here, I have a little place that I wanted to rent out, and it's 650. So that's not, it depends on where you're located.
Yes.
Most of the people around Vila Real de Santo Antonio are in an 800 a month to 1,000 a month. Lisbon is
I mean, people are. I think there was talk. I was with a couple of fellas on Friday in the business. 5,000 a month. Certain houses in certain part of. I mean, more. You can spend more than that if you want to. Kind of. These are the really exceptional places, of course. Okay, so how does this become this?
Yay! Hi, Carl. We finally met up.
Hang out with Veronica, and you end up eating gelatos. Is that a gelato mania you were at? What's happening there?
Okay, so I say Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Sometimes you get in a car with me and you never know where you're going to go. Well, that was Philomena that day, and she's the one that had that big palace for sale, right? The big palace annex in Passos de Arcos, which is that little clip I sent you that's in the in the castle that's now a hotel. And she says, we were in Cascais looking at another one of her properties. So we looked at a few of her properties and we ended up here because I think it's brilliant. And this is so Portuguese. He says, with Portuguese, we like to go and look at something and then we sit and have a coffee or an ice cream and talk about it. And then we go to something else. Yeah. As you know, pastel de nata ice cream. And she took us to this place that had just opened when she was a kid in Cascais. And it held so many great memories for her.
How lovely.
And it was
how lovely. Now, another video here. I'm thinking you'll have to tell me if this is or isn't, because we've got a couple of tours. You do wonderful things in your spare time, of course. Is that the palace that we're talking about now? Yes, I think
the palace. It's nothing super important. It's just because it was such a beautiful place. And now it's been turned into a hotel so you can go and stay there. Cool. So I just thought, I'll do a quick little walk around. It's got because the king used to sit there and look at the ships so he could tax them. He used to sit right there. It's like one of those places for, especially us Americans, that, we don't have the history in the 1500s. They're looking out their window, the king going, look at all my good stuff I can
that ship.
And that little restaurant right there, the little yellow one, that's where they used to pay their taxes. And it's just a beautiful facility. It has a church in there, gardens. Yeah, okay. Beautiful study.
Yes, okay. And how many residences are available to purchase then as part of this?
One. So they had three, right? They had three and now they have one. So that's
lovely staircase. I love that staircase. That's beautiful, isn't it?
Isn't it? It's like a Harry Potter staircase.
It is. This is a fabulous place. And this is the drawing room for the hotel stay, is it? You can come
these were behind closed doors. You know me, I go where I'm not supposed to.
Yes, I can imagine. Yeah.
It didn't say don't enter, so I opened it and there's no one around. I'm like, okay, I'm staying in the hotel.
You could have just issued a kingly stand aside. I'm making a video.
It's easier to get forgiveness than approval. Absolutely. When you go down, you ask somebody new, they might say no. You ask somebody older, go do what you want. So I just do it, and I am staying there.
Always ask the older one who says, "Go do what you want." What's it? What was that? What are these racks here? What are they full of?
Wine. Those are wine bottles.
It's a good place. Okay.
And to church, because everybody needs a church.
You need your church. So he could go say his prayers after he'd been demanding taxes out of people. Fantastic.
Yep, with temporary markings. Who knew?
Look at that desk as well. That's a well cantilevered item, is it not? That big old desk there. That's probably where the taxes and dues were paid. Right there. Look at it.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, stunning. There's so much more to it. I mean, I put some little reels on my American and Portugal and YouTube if you want to look at it. That has some more of like the gardens and little clips.
Excellent. All right. Well, we've got a couple more videos to look at. Carl Hyde said he would join us, as is usual. However, he also said he was going to the barbers, so he might be joining us live from the car park near the barbers, or actually from inside the barbers. The stream is once again stuttering for me. Anyone else? I'm gonna have to.
No, it's not stuttering for me, and I'm on it, so it's taking juice.
When I think of kings, I think of people who haven't bathed in ages. Well, it wasn't just the kings. I mean, that would have been everybody, and that's why you had to have a nosegay, didn't you? I think the nosegay is a bag of herbs that you could just sniff on to clear the area just immediately in front of your face. If not.
That was for the doctors, so they didn't get sick. So they can. It was like.
Is that right?
It was like a very early model of our COVID masks.
Indeed. But a lot more fun. Both guests and the scroll. There's a lot of stuttering going on here now.
You're not stuttering. I'm watching you.
You and I seem to be okay. There's something else going on, perhaps with StreamYard, unfortunately.
It could be StreamYard.
Who knows? Who knows? Well, I can only apologize for that. Let's push the system even further then with another video and see what you've been up to just recently. I like this little view of the sea here. I'll mute the music and let you talk over it. These all get me banned. Yeah.
This is the Grand Beach Club, which is just in Villarreal de Santo Antonio, where the river meets the ocean. Ooh, and it was part of kind of a hotel, the Grand Hotel, but the owners had issues. So it kind of went in and out of being good and not being good, being well managed. And they eventually shut down. A new owner bought the hotel And now they're having a really good restaurant that's in Monte Gordo manage it. And it's spectacular. Look at that. Even the little burger thing had stamped the Grand on it. It's just stunning. You watch the yachts go by and you poke out to the ocean, to the river, and food is good. You can rent a bed and a chair and hang out by the pool.
You can rent a bed. This sounds good. After you, now, if I'm stopping this here, it's not stuttering, but what I'm looking at is the white socks of the waiters. Now, when I'm out and about, I look at the uniforms of people and I think, would I like to work in Mercadona and wear the green shirt? Would I like to be in Max Mat with a red polo on? If I worked in this place, I would be wearing quite high white socks with dark. Is that the official uniform, or did that guy hastily get dressed that morning?
I never paid attention. I don't really look at the waiter's feet. I'm generally looking at them and the nice glass of wine they're bringing me and the food and the menu. Right. Your big bright smiles.
You were distracted.
Next time I will look at the waiter's feet.
Come on, look, he's got great big white socks on. I don't know if there's any more footage of him. Not white yacht, white socks.
Probably not.
Yeah, it does look good.
Because you see they stamp like the hamburgers and
does look good.
Like a garlicky steak thing that.
All right. And perhaps the grand uniform is some almost knee-high white socks. Very good. Okay. Forgive me for noticing that detail. T-Dot's got gigabit fiber, and even the farms in Portugal have got gigabit fiber. Never had internet anywhere near this fast in the States. Well done, Portugal, on that as well. And another video from you, and let's have a look at another video. While we're waiting for the great Carl Hyde, the English gentleman in Lisbon, to join us, awaiting a haircut. And another nice. Is this a day out here? What's this one? This
is when we rented the sunbeds, I should say, not beds.
Oh, it's the same place.
I've been going there 3 to 5 times a week when I have time. Have a lunch, have a drink, sit out by the pool. The gardens are gorgeous. They have hammock. They have these little swings. I mean, it's just. Do you feel like you're on a tropical island paradise or what?
Yeah, and the best of Algarve, I think. It's quite Algarve. I have to say, very nicely done.
Well, it's not. It's super hidden. It's super away from any sort of tourist because you have to go down an industrial street to get to it.
Okay. No, I meant in terms of the decor and the brightness. It just looks like that's one of the best sort of experiences you can have down in the south there. It looks lovely. So it's called the Grand, is that right?
The Grand Beach Club, Grand House Beach Club, and they're going to stay open until the middle of November, which is great for us because we know a lot of the Portuguese, the only time they can take off in a tourist area is like January, February. So some of them even cut off their time at the beginning of October. So our one beach club out at the ocean ended October 1st. And it was kind of a bummer because, it's still beautiful. It's been, 80 degrees, which 80 degrees is what, you're 30, 28
degrees, take away 25 degrees.
25. So 25, 26. Even today, it's going to be 78 to 80. So, why would you close? And this is the best time to travel is October. And so it's nice that place is going to stay open until mid-November.
Very good. Good planning there. And on that note, I want to ask you something, Veronica, because there's some concern in San Martino de Porto because we appear to have a contagion of closing establishments, which can be confused with what you just mentioned about the season. People need a break after the summer. So a lot of places shut and the Portuguese workers need some time off to recuperate after a very busy summer. However, we have had one bar definitely close. We have a churrasqueira chicken grill also for sale and possibly closing. And there was some talk of our meetup premises, the cafe that we go to for our meetup, also going on the market and possibly closing down, which caused a little bit of a murmur in our WhatsApp meetup group, our Grapevine here. Is everything shutting? Is everything okay in the town? What's your experience of where you are? There is this seasonal shutdown and there is a turnover of businesses. That's quite normal, especially in hospitality, right?
It is really normal because unless you have a really good business plan and capital anywhere in the world, you're gonna run out of money. They have to try to find staff. that's willing to work on like a 6-month contract. Otherwise, you kind of have to pay. They could work for 6 months and then claim a disability, and you have to pay their wages for a long time. The government regulations don't make it easy to keep the staff, and staff generally in hospitality would be like, okay, well, I can continue to get paid and not get yelled at by a bunch of tourists. So I think it's hard for that. And then again, you just have to have a lot of capital, and you have to know marketing, and you have to juggle. We just had one of our great places close down, Good, which was our healthy restaurant, and we love the couple. And they did a lot. I mean, they did music meetups, they had healthy food, but then they always struggled to get the drinks out. And so you look at the stress of everybody rushing all the time, the stress on the family members, husband and wife, the financial pressure. It's just too much. It's not like a regular job where you go in, you do your 8 to 5, you get paid, you're guaranteed you get paid. A lot of times these restaurants are giving you a free meal essentially because they're not making any money. The food loss costs.
Don't like to hear that. Yeah.
You have to do a serious business plan and incorporate everything you can and have access to a lot of capital.
Yes. Yeah. It's not an easy business to be in.
No.
And some people make it look very easy when in fact they're working very, very hard and they've got a great team. You've got to have a lot of magical things in a row to make it work. Apparently then this talk of it, thank you for that insight, by the way. You seem to understand that business. Have you been in?
And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with your town. It's going to mean that they're tired, exhausted. They did enough. They've given away enough free meals. They're not making enough money to make it worth their time. And they're still getting taxed. It's just, go do something else.
And I think when it starts to go a little bit wrong, it must be quite soul destroying as well. So don't worry, folks. There is a seasonal thing occurring, and there is a lot of turnover in the hospitality world. And also, people need a break. If not an annual one, then they've worked for a decade or something. They made their money, and they can go and enjoy themselves in another restaurant run by somebody else. Apparently. Even though we've got gigabit fiber here, you will have even faster internet in the near future, in the next 5 to 10 years. If it gets any faster, it will be leaning into the future, won't it? Well, we'll be able to see the future just by logging on, that it's so darn fast. What is internet? Says Tom.
Yay, Tom's secret. Always with something fun going on.
Yes, and Carl Hyde is here, I think, behind the scenes. Look, he's being a mystery man at the moment. And we might have
on his phone trying to figure out which button to push.
He might be. Well, I think he's had a little bit of a difficult morning. It has to be said. There is here's one of his videos playing. Isn't that beautiful?
Great.
And he sent a message saying, "Might make the last 5 minutes. Hellish morning. Started with a power cut." He said an apagão down there south of the river. So he won't have had fast internet. I don't think you'll have had any internet, perhaps. 10 years ago, sorry, Veronica, let me just move you where you can be seen. There you are. 10 years ago, we did not need gigabit internet at home, but we now do, as more data is online and bigger websites and videos. So I'm sure that development will not stop. But they'll still be waiting an hour and a half at the airport, I suspect, even then.
Okay, can we address that real quick? An hour and a half at the airport. Try LAX, 4 hours, 5 hours. And this just comes down to the airlines being on time when they land and the airport scheduling not so many international flights at the same time.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. And also a new system doesn't help, but they've explained that to EU headquarters. Let's give him a round of applause. I think he's had a tough morning already. Carl Hyde, everybody. What's up, mate?
Bon dia.
What's happening?
Are you driving?
I am driving, yeah.
Multitasking.
Yeah. Well, I'm having a haircut this morning, so that's the first issue. Then I woke up to a power cut, and my morning is just a bit chaotic. So I didn't plan it to be like this, but there we go. I thought I'd be able to get outside the barber's shop, do my normal routine from the car, but it's not gone that way. So there we go.
You're a legend joining us nonetheless. And even though you've had a tough morning, you've still managed to send us a beautiful video here of your incredible Insta output, Carl. Doing a great job over there, the Englishman in Lisbon. And we've got a T3 home in the beautiful part of Portugal known as Sesimbra, Serra da Rábida, just around the corner. Are you able to tell us a little bit more about this?
I am, yeah. So it's only just been listed. like you just said, it's a T3 home. It's sat on a 720 metre plot. The house itself is 230 square metres inside. It's got amazing views of the Serra de Rábida. It's got several sort of terraces, 2 that are part of the house and 1 that's just kind of part of the back garden, just uninterrupted views of the mountains. So it's in a great location. You're just 10 minutes from the beaches in Sesimbra. And yeah, it's got a lot of potential. You know, it's a great place. It's in great condition. So if someone's looking for, like, you know, if you want the country life, but you still want to be near infrastructure and things like that, this could definitely be the place for you.
And the Rábida National Park, where a section, a little bit of with Diana Rigg and Sean Connery on Her Majesty's Secret Service was filmed there as well. Just putting the link to your video in the chat, should anybody want to find out more about that. We need a quick industry update from both of you and from your respective parts of the country. We did a little bit of real estate chat, of course, and this new tax drop on rentals with you, Veronica, earlier on. Carl, how's it looking south of the river? What's your update for this month?
Yeah, it's getting... It's quite busy, you know. I came out of the summer and it had been fairly quiet for me, but that's probably a lot to do with just me slowing down for the summer. You know, I've been family and that here, and then it's just picking back up again. People coming from the US looking for rentals, you know, looking to plant themselves here in Portugal. So I'd say the market's on the up. I mean, prices are still increasing generally across the board. Different rates across the country, of course. You know, some of the smaller municipalities are seeing bigger rises than the sort of the hot spots like Cascais, Porto and the Algarve. But generally the trend is number go up, prices are going up.
We saw Bobby, didn't we, on Friday? Congratulations to him on the unveiling of the show home. But
it was amazing, wasn't it? The Dad do Meio.
It was
looked fantastic.
Great to see you both there, and talking to him about the south of the river, feeling that the price rises on the other side in the capital, and people becoming more and more interested south of the river, and of course your Sesimbra property, way south, but still on within commuting distance, I think.
Still, you know what? It is within commuting distance. I mean, I'd say it's on the edge of it, really. If you want to get into Lisbon, but you're only 45 minutes from the airport if you take the Vasco da Gama bridge. So, you know, you're really not that far out. And then you've got easy access to Lisbon. And then there's still Margem Sul with all its beaches and things like that. I mean, who needs to go into Lisbon? You know?
And I took your tip. I did go back on the Vasco da Gama bridge. What a fantastic bit of engineering that is. I was much more excited than my daughter. I'm saying to her, look, 5 minutes have passed. We're still on the bridge. This is amazing. Yeah, whatever. She's looking at in the back of the car. Yeah, bored of the amazing bridge. So it was great to see you on Friday. Veronica, how's it looking? I haven't asked you specifically for your sort of snapshot of the real estate market down in the south.
It's chaos. It's all over the place.
Okay.
It's trending upwards, but we're seeing agents price way too low, going super fast when it doesn't need to be a fire sale. Then the one, I think some self-interest there. And then I've seen some go way too high and just sit there, and people are like, why isn't it moving? You need to take and have an analysis for your clients. If you are an agent, you need to be able to say, this is the price per square meter, and know it for this area, this portion of the river or the ocean, this city, and then here's the features and benefits that might make more people want it, that could bump up the demand. So supply and demand, location. And this is where I say again, use a professional, use one that has the tools. I know you guys have the tools, Casify, all of these things that can tie in and know exactly per square meter what that should go for. And I'm just not seeing it. I mean, there was the one where my friends priced it themselves for what they wanted. It was gone in 2 days. I'm like, it's pretty low. You could probably go higher. And they said, no, we want it gone. And that, it was gone without ever hitting Idealista, right? And then another one with an agent from out of town that I was shocked at. And then another one, same thing, where the client has until, next year to sell, but they kind of fire sold it. And if you're going to drop the price that low, at least do the right thing for the client and say, Let's take a week or two. Everybody's going to put their offers in, and highest and best will be accepted. Not just take that first lowball offer. And I think this just goes back to use a professional that has the professional tools.
Can I say on that? Sorry to interject. It's just it's the hardest part of the job, I think, and there are many hard parts of this job. But the number one is getting clients to price the homes correctly. Obviously, too low, that's just too easy as an agent. You're going to get a sale almost instantly. Too high is generally the case. People also think their home's worth more, even though you try to educate them to the fact that, this is the market rate. Yes, you've got these certain special features, but they're not worth an extra 100,000 and things like that. Where I like to be when I'm pricing, I like to find out what a realistic price is and set it at that or a fraction under. Because when I've had the most success, and the story I like to tell is I sold my neighbour's house last year and we priced it a little bit under. We were debating whether we should list at 450 or 500. It's a T2 single story home on a 600 metre plot. Really nice place. And we settled on 450. Let's try and get people in the door. And I did 35 viewings in the first week. And we had, I think it was 5 or 6 offers. The highest offer was 470. And in the end, they settled on 460 because the buyers could move more quickly than the others. My client, the seller, my former neighbour, was extremely happy. And we could have listed it at 500, but I know we would have had maybe 3 or 4 visits in that first week and probably would have had significantly lower offers. So there's a sweet spot. It's very hard to convince clients we can just drop it later, let's just try. But you lose the impetus if you do that sometimes. If you hit it right, you get 10 people in the door the first couple of days, you're going to get multiple offers and you're going to sell the place. And that for me anyway is the best way to do it, Very
good.
Yes, and do it within that sweet spot, knowing that you still have the market amount you want, right? Yeah. So you got 470, 460, 450 was kind of the, a little bit smidgen under, but you still got over. So it's looking at all of those and giving people time. The important thing about this is they see it, they know it's a good deal. The people that have been looking know it's a good deal. They come in and then they fight with each other. Yeah. This is what you have to realize. The psychology of the sale is instead of fighting with the owner saying, I want this, or what we say, death by 1,000 cuts. So you get into the deal and they're like, oh, we need to lower it because we found this. We need to lower. Now all your people are already gone. They were like, oh, well, you didn't accept our offer, right? So you have to make sure that they realize they got something and they got a great deal and keep that momentum.
That's exactly how it worked. And here's the thing, of those 35 visits, I think we got 5, maybe 6 offers. It was a year ago, so I don't remember clearly. Some of them offered, one person offered below asking price, and I said, it's just not going to happen. We had 35 visits. Probably some just weren't interested. Maybe we were just being nosy. Some said, it's just not quite right for us. The location, we liked the place, but it just wasn't perfect. So I think we just got everybody that was prepared to buy it there. And I know for a fact, like the 3 people who really, really wanted that house were squeezing as much as they could to get every last penny from wherever they could to get the price. One couple just couldn't quite get there. One couple went over, but they didn't have a mortgage in place. And then another couple were ready to go. And they're like, this is it. If it's higher than this, we can't do it. So I think I did like a perfect job, and I can do that. If people let me price the home for them, I can do a perfect job for them.
There he is, Carl Hyde of the agency Portugal. Veronica, American in Portugal. Use a professional, let them do their job, I think is the takeaway. On a personal note, what are you up to? You're going to your meetup for noobs today. Can anyone come to that? How do people find out about these, Veronica?
No, this is invite only. So these are people that have kind of come through me and my network. And then I've kind of like curated this group of people who will work really well together. And I won't have more than 8, right? So this isn't like it just free for all, everybody come that wants to come, right? We used to have a lot of those, and it really did end up, in time, everybody knew each other. It's nice to walk around town and know everybody, but then they start talking about each other because they know all the expats, and you're like a community in a community. I mean, there are times I would say something to somebody and go, oh, and I'm authentic. Sorry. I try to filter somewhat, but sometimes you're like, wow, that guy almost hit me crossing the crosswalk. What a jerk. Must be a Spanish, because they really don't, they fly through the we're right next to Spain. Here's a bridge between Spain and Portugal. They must not, and they really don't honor them as much as, the Portuguese. They'll hit their brakes here to not hit you. And by dinner time, 5 people say, oh, I thought you got hit by a car today. I mentioned you're just like, enough, guys. Go get a life. Meet other people.
Okay, so to be part of your curated experience, people can find you, American in Portugal, on social media and
info at American in Portugal.
Have a lovely time with those people. It's great, isn't it, hanging out with people who are still excited about being here and haven't started gossiping about each other yet. Fantastic. Well, you know who you are. Well done, Veronica. And Carl Hyde, big question for you. What are you going to have done at the Barbers?
I'd really rather not say in public, to be honest with you, Carl.
Oh, you're having your back shaved, You're shaving his back. Okay.
You know what they're saying. You know what it is. No.
I don't.
No. What?
He's going on a bikini holiday.
I'm actually down in the Algarve today because we have a development presentation in the Algarve, and so all team leaders are going down there to be part of that. And I'm actually staying over as well. So I think there may be a few glasses of wine being shared after we've done this development presentation. So I'm going to get my hair cut so I look spiffing and lovely, and then get ready and carefully and calmly drive down to the Algarve at 200 kilometers per hour.
Whatever. Okay.
Where in the Algarve are you going to Villamora?
Oh, you know what? I've got brain freeze. I think it is near Villamora, yeah. But exactly where right now, I don't know, because I need to get back home and fully get myself up to speed with it.
That's a huge development there.
All right.
Well, I'll probably do a show with Carl about it at some point, just to talk about it more. But I was hoping to be a little bit more prepared this morning, but I mean, it literally just went wrong. The power went off at like 6 o'clock. So
we better let you go. Addressing in the dark situation, but at least a nice haircut. Have a great time. If you feel rumbling, if you feel seismic activity in the real estate market here in Portugal, it's because the high-ups of the agency are meeting and strategizing this afternoon and evening, and you'll probably hear them partying tonight.
It could be a Godfather 3 moment where we all get, I don't know if you've seen that scene in the Godfather 3 where they get everyone together in the hotel. No? No. Somebody out there will have seen it.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I want to.
No. Anyway, it's a bit bloody, but anyway, that's just where my mind goes to. Okay, look, I've got to go. My barber's sort of waving at me frantically.
Ciao, ciao. Okay. See everybody. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers. Bye for now.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need